Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome to episode number 5. Today is going to be a push day. I'm starting this one off a little bit later. I did a bunch of stuff in the morning and just honestly didn't feel like recording that. So I'm now 2 meals in, and I'm gonna just take you through what a push session looks like for me. And this is my secondary push session of my 9-day rotation. So this is push B. The first part of this workout is going to be done in my apartment gym because they have the equipment that I like for this particular push day. The second part of this push day is going to be done in my regular gym, and that's going to be kind of the arms portion of it. So I'm going to take you through both of those, and I'm also going to kind of explain my reasoning for why I'm doing certain things or why I'm doing that way. But right now I'm going to head down to the apartment gym. The first thing I'm going to do is probably just walk on the treadmill for like 20-25 minutes. I just drank my pump product, so that takes a little while to kick in. So while I'm waiting for that to kick in, I'm just going to box off some steps, and then I'm going to go right into the workout, and that is going to be the next thing that you guys see. All right, so here we have my push B variation. This starts out with 4 sets of side laterals. The reason I start out with side laterals is for number 1, you can never have big enough side delts. I don't think I've ever seen anybody in my life where I was like, wow, that guy's side delts are so big, he should stop working them. It's just not a thing. The bigger your side delts are, just the more it enhances your V-taper, essentially. The wider it's just going to make you look up top. So that's the first reason that I start with them. Second reason is they're not going to take away from your pressing. Even if they do, it's negligible how much they would take away from your pressing. And also, my delts are much weaker in terms of how they are on my physique than my chest is. So even if these were to take away a bit of my ability to press for my chest, I'm gonna essentially I'm gonna take that hit because I want to improve my side delts so much more than my chest, essentially, right? So start the workout there. That first set is I don't know how many reps I did there, somewhere in the range of 20 25, somewhere around there, I think. And then what I do is for all those 4 sets, I basically keep the weight the same, and because I'm working to failure on every set, those reps are going to just titrate downwards every time. If you do 25 reps and then the next set you do 25 reps, you didn't go to failure. You did not try hard enough on that first set because you matched it on your second set. The caveat to that would be if you're waiting 10 minutes, then yeah, maybe you could, match that. But obviously nobody's really doing that. Another thing I do is the partials. I will always do the partials. Again, I've talked about this before, but having the muscle lengthened under load, we know that just causes a ton of hypertrophy. Also, you're just going to get a crazy burn from that. It is going to pump your shoulders like crazy, and it's virtually impossible to overwork your side delts. I don't think I've ever had sore side delts in my entire life, ever. No matter how many sets I do per week, they've just never gotten sore. Their MRV is just so high. You would probably have to exclusively work side delts to be able to have them get sore whatsoever. So that's how I go about my side delt work. I will always go every set till failure. They will always come before my pressing, and I will always do partials. Next, after that, I go into overhead pressing. So I actually haven't overhead pressed for a very, very long time. when I used to overhead press, I used to do like barbell OHP, and I would just go for more like powerlifting numbers. Like I was doing like 5x5s or 5x3s, like stuff like that, where I was just really trying to move like tons of load. But I've just never really found it necessary for like actual like front delt development, just because I would always do a lot of pressing as well, and typically bodybuilders do a lot of pressing anyway. So, you know, I don't really know if you need OHP work. Maybe some people do, but I think for the vast majority of bodybuilders, you probably could get away with just never doing direct OHP work. But again, this is something that Luke programmed in there. So I'm going to run with it. I'm going to do it. I will admit that it felt super awkward at first because I just hadn't done OHP in a very long time. But now I'm getting more and more used to it. And it's feeling pretty good. I think it's too early to say if it's really made a difference per se in like my physique or anything like that. But I'm definitely increasing my numbers. So something's going on. I started like with half the stack, and now I'm almost to the bottom of the stack. So something is growing. Then after that, it was 3 sets of that OHP, by the way. And then I go into this chest press. So this is a Paramount piece. Man, this is really, really good. And one of the things I've changed up about my pressing that I think has really made a difference is pressing with my chest and not just concentrating on moving load. So I could move this entire stack for like 20 or 30 reps, but I'm purposely like slowing everything down, purposely making sure that I'm using my chest and that I'm not just moving load. And I really do think this is making a difference in my chest growth right now. All right, guys, just wrapped up at the apartment gym. It is now time for part number 2 of the workout, which is going to be the arms portion. So I just pulled up at the gym. I'm not going to do any warm-up sets because I literally still have a pump. The apartment gym, or where me and Heidi live, is literally 2 minutes from the gym that I work out at, maybe even less, to be honest. So since I still have a pump and everything, I'm just gonna go in there and get started on arms, and I'm gonna take you guys through that. Okay, so part number 2 of this workout is going to be the arms portion. Now, I think a lot of people kind of get this misconstrued when I like post on my Instagram story or something that I'm doing like true 2-a-day workouts. This is not a true 2-a-day workout. This is me taking an entire session and splitting it in 2. The main reason that I'm splitting it in 2 is because the gyms that I go to don't have the pieces that I like. So like this gym right here doesn't have an OHP machine that I like, and they don't have a chest press machine that I like. The LA Fitness that I go to, they have an OHP that I like, but they don't really have a chest press that I like. And those pieces in my apartment gym, those Paramount ones, like they are extremely good. So it's like I have the ability to work out there in the morning and then just hit the other part of the session at night. So that's what I do. Obviously today I didn't do that because it's a weekend. So I just went from one to the other. But typically what I'll do is, first thing in the morning is I will hit that part of the session at my apartment gym. And then after I get off work, I will go and complete this arms portion. So again, it's not 2 completely different workouts. It's not like a true 2-a-day workout. It's just splitting one workout in half. So start the arms portion with dips. I was doing body weight for probably the first 6-7 rotations or so, just because I don't think I've ever actually done body weight dips in my life. I've always done machine dips. So they felt real awkward at first. I was also very weak at them. I think I only got 6 or 7 reps my first time or something like that. So now I've worked my way up to where I'm doing a 45. One thing I want to point out on there is some people try to use these excessive ranges of motion where they're really, in my opinion, putting their shoulder in a compromised position. I really don't think that's necessary. Like, I'm trying to overload the triceps there. Like, I don't need to be, having my chin touching my stomach essentially when I'm doing a dip like that. So I think that's one thing to keep in mind, especially nowadays where this emphasis on extreme ranges of motion is like very prevalent. This isn't gymnastics. This is not a flexibility contest. I'm a bodybuilder. I want to use the ranges of motion that I need to for the exercises that I'm doing in order to build muscle as efficiently as possible. And there's just some movements where I don't think these extreme ranges of motion are necessary. So after the dips, I went into the crossbody cable press downs. That's for triceps, obviously. And then after that, I go into unilateral dumbbell curls. So the way that I actually do this is I do alternating sets. Technically a superset with antagonist muscles. So I kind of took this one from John Meadows because his theory is that, like, if you want to grow your arms as best as possible, or really any muscle, right? It's like you want to fill it full of blood. You want to fill it with as much blood as possible while you're working out. So the, kind of theory behind that with the arms is, if you only work your biceps, there's not really any blood going into the triceps. There is, but not to the same degree if you're working the triceps. So within this, it's like I will do the crossbody cables, and then I might rest like 15 seconds just to catch my breath or something like that, and then I'll go into the unilateral curls so that I'm just filling my entire arm full of blood. Like, I'm just trying to get the biggest pump possible. Like, I'm trying to be Rich Piana, okay? And I think it's hard to say if like that's the reason that things are going well. In terms of like my arm growth, it could just be that I'm working arms in general. Like, arms is not something I really ever put emphasis on or worked. So it's hard to say. But I do think that it's working. I'm probably never going to disagree with the things that John Meadows says, and so I'm giving it a try. So yeah, I go from the crossbody cables into the unilateral curls there, and it's 3 sets of each of those. Then I go into that overhead cable extension unilateral that you saw right there, and then from that one I go into this basic just straight bar cable curl. So this one I also do in a superset fashion with the antagonist muscle groups. And this is a good way to save time for, some of you guys that are trying to, limit the time of your gym sessions. Supersetting, but only if you're supersetting antagonist muscle groups, okay? Muscle groups that don't affect the other ones. Like, no matter how hard I work my biceps, it's not going to take away from my triceps. Whereas, trying to do biceps with, or trying to do chest with triceps, that would not be a good superset, right? So that is going to conclude the workout. All right, I am back home, and that is a wrap on the workout. I am now going to go upstairs, eat my post-workout meal, because shit just got real. If you guys remember Chris Jones, you guys remember that line. Man, that's a major throwback right there. But yeah, that is my secondary push day right there. Really hoping that by the end of this off season, I have some respectable arms. We will see. I'm doing my best to make every single set in there count. Definitely training arms harder than I've ever trained them. In the past, I kind of really barely trained them at all. Man, arms are just boring to me. They're still boring, but I'm trying to fall in love with training arms just because I really need to bring my arms up, especially if I'm going to be stepping on, like, trying to turn pro and then do damage as a pro. So that is a big goal of this off season. I'm just going to keep plugging away, and, we will see what happens, 6 months down the line, 8 months down the line, 12 months down the line.
But again, right now, gonna go upstairs, eat my post-workout meal. As always, I appreciate you guys watching. I really appreciate the support. Man, yeah, it really means a lot to me. I'm going to continue to pump these videos out throughout the off season. If there are any suggestions for things that you want to see, just let me know. Drop them down in the comment section, and as long as I can accommodate them and do videos on that kind of stuff, if you have comments and stuff you'd like to see, then I will do my best to do that. But I'm going to catch you guys in the next episode, which will be episode number 6. So until then, peace.